with my colleagues to my left, only in position only, not in ideology, is leader Adam Niemer. To my right, and maybe not completely far right of me, but right nonetheless, is the chairman of the Illinois Freedom Caucus, Chris Miller. And to the right of him is leader David Freese, a member of the Illinois Freedom Caucus. So we're coming to you live here from the Capitol Complex in Springfield. We've been 2 days this week in Springfield. This is day number 3. We're headed into House reading deadline week, which will be next Friday. Moved a lot of bills yesterday. I think we moved 51 bills yesterday, gentlemen, from out of the House on third reading. So it was quite an interesting afternoon. We were on the floor nearly 5 hours. And so we've got a few of them we'd like to highlight on top of the board here behind you. The first one we want to talk about is HB 4039, Duboclay's bill that would allow some high school voter registration. The bill went out 7724. Adam, you want to talk about that first?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a bill for voter registration. They called it the Reverend Jesse Jackson bill, and it has some folks coming in from League of Women Voters. So when it comes to registering kids to vote in schools, we all know where the teachers union stand on that, Chicago Teachers Union, and the folks up in the suburbs. So it's another massive Democrat voter registration drive designed to put Republicans in a catch-22 to say, we don't want kids to vote. But yes, of course we want kids to vote. We want everybody to vote. We just want it to be done in a nonpartisan way, which this bill is definitely partisan.
Right. So Representative Freese, this would allow third-party organizations to come in to do these voter registration drives. And the bill said shall, but they're saying it's just an opportunity, right, that the school shall give the opportunity. What could possibly wrong well allow a third-party organization to come in to do voter registration?
Yeah, great question. You know, and that's one of the things that we hear all the time is shall and may. You know, things are permissive, fine. If the schools don't want to do it, that's fine. They don't have to do it. But shall obviously has a specific meaning. And that means that somebody's going to have to come into the school if the school doesn't do it themselves and register these kids. And as Adam mentioned, everybody wants our students to be active. I can't tell you how many schools that I've spoken at to seniors, and I said, if you got a complaint in life, I said, you need to participate and vote for people that are going to support you in your position or run for office. So yes, we certainly do want people to get engaged. We just don't want the partisan side of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Chairman Miller, any closing comments before we move on to the next bill?
Well, it's just another shrouded Democrat recruiting project that they're introducing at the increased cost to the government schools, and plus they're getting these high school seniors fresh off of their years of indoctrination to the radical left agenda, and so they know what they're doing. I think if they're going to do this, to be fair, that they should have the same opportunities for the seniors and the veterans, and to go into those places and register people to vote. They don't want to do that because they know that most of those people at that stage in life are leaning to the right, and they don't want to give us any advantages. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
We report, you decide.
Exactly. The next bill we want to discuss is HB 4834. This was Kelly Cassidy's bill. It went out 68-37. Not very many. Well, there was a few Democrats that stayed off of this bill. It would remove testosterone from the controlled substance list, right? That's a federal list of controlled substances. Why would they want to remove testosterone and some other drugs from the controlled substance list?
I can't imagine why. Well, as everybody knows, Kelly Cassidy is the leading advocate for transgender, transitioning kids, and that's it. You know, because one of the things that there's a reporting requirement with this, and that's why they don't want this, because they don't want anybody to know that they're transitioning your kid. Plain and simple.
Right. Miller, Niemer, anything to add?
I think
that's pretty much it.
He just sums it up very well.
Yeah.
The third bill that we want to talk about here on the board is HB 5024. This is Speaker Welch's bill. This is an anti-ICE bill. Would restrict where ICE detention facilities would to go in. So I don't know, Chairman Miller, if you want to lead off, and then we'll go Freese and then Niemer on this important subject.
Well, this is just another shrouded I hate Donald Trump bill, and to do everything to gaslight him and kneecap the safety and security of the citizens of Illinois, because the bottom line of it is he was trying to pretend like this was to protect the citizens, and very, very noble and all of the above. but all it does is add to the lack of safety and security for our own citizens while they're protecting illegals, and all shrouded in that I really care about you.
Right. Freeze your illegal bind. What do you see here in the bill?
Well, I see it's unconstitutional from my perspective. I don't know how you're going to prohibit the government from opening and operating a facility so many feet or yards from a school, a daycare center, a church. And here's the other thing. They named all these places that are, if you want to say sensitive, schools, churches, hospitals, but they don't go into these places.
Right.
I mean, they really don't. So I would love to have heard an example of when, ICE kicked in the door of a daycare center and snatched a 2-year-old out of some daycare worker's arms. It doesn't happen. It's a lie. But that's how they go on emotion, not logic, not truth.
Right.
So here we are.
Leader Niebuhr, why does the state of Illinois need to cooperate with the feds? Why is this ICE detention stuff important? I mean, we don't really have any run-ins with illegal aliens in the state of Illinois ever.
Well, folks, it's tremendously important. As Leader Freeze alluded to, it's something that they had the bill for churches, schools, daycare centers, but also they had it for private residents. That was something that really stuck out to me, because those first several, we should be protecting those individuals from violent illegal aliens, right? And we should be apprehending these individuals and deporting them. That would make these locations safe. But the last issue that really stuck out to me was the private residence, because basically that makes it to where any place in the suburbs, any place in Chicago, 1,500 feet, if you're in
a residence,
exactly, if you're in an area where condensed populations, you're not going to have an ICE facility in and around Chicago. You're not going to have an ICE facility in and around the suburbs. It completely excludes those. And as you said, this is unconstitutional. We are usurping federal law with this, and we are continually putting the unconstitutional rights of illegal aliens ahead of our own citizens, and it has to stop.
Right. Yeah, maybe we should ban illegals from being around college students.
Right. What a great idea. What a great idea. Hey, a couple more bills I want to touch on, gentlemen, and kind of as we head into speed round, as we close this out. HB 4442, it was a high-speed rail task force, I believe, that had a repeal date on it. They done away with the repeal date. Bill went out 8125. We've seen in Illinois, the high-speed rail stuff that's been done in the past is really not high-speed rail as we would think. It's just a little higher speed than what we have today. But we saw the reports recently here in California, $126 billion for high-speed rail, and they haven't moved a single passenger yet. These things are just boondoggles beyond belief. I'll just open it up.
If anybody pays attention to the news, obviously they've heard about what's going on in California. I wish I had the number of what they've spent already and what the billions of dollars that it's going to cost to complete it. It is absolutely insane. And the other part of this that wasn't really talked about is to do this, it would have to be, in essence, an elevated train to go, because you can't do it at grade because you're going to be moving at a higher rate of speed. So you're going to have eminent domain taking over your land from Chicago to Champaign to St. Louis or wherever the thing's going to go. Absolute nightmare. And the most uneconomical thing that we could do in this state.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go on to the other bill, HB 4557. It was defining play-based learning. So in all the things that we've got going on in Springfield, we're redefining the youngsters' definition about play-based learning. What's your thoughts on that? Bill went out 80 to 26, I think. So yeah, still.
Yeah, it's just, it's these small bills that they continue to run in education.
Mm-hmm.
I sit on an education committee, and I see the radical, woke legislators that keep pushing these bills. And they are very, very radical legislators. And they're all like former Chicago public teachers or Chicago Teachers Union advocates. They're so far radical, and they're running all these bills through education. It's just a death by 1,000 cuts on our public education system. And it's getting to the point now where these kids, all of these mandates put on our public education system, on our superintendents, on our principals, on our school boards. First off, they can't afford it, which causes our property taxes to go up. But secondly, these are all woke mandates that do not fit the entire state and should not be happening. Rather than teaching critical thinking to our kids, reading, writing, and arithmetic, they're teaching radical woke ideology in our schools, and I sit in education committee, and it scares me when I continually see these bills by these radical woke legislators.
Yeah. But after they ran this bill, I called my wife and said, "How the hell did our kids get through kindergarten without these definitions? It's amazing."
It's a mommy state. We know better than you. We're going to teach these kids, the leftist ideology, and we're going to remove parents from the picture. That's what it comes down to, and it's none of their business.
Yeah. Let's close out our conversation with a bill, HB 4323. This was a duplicate bill. It was titled Emmett Till Day. This was to commemorate Emmett Till. We saw a similar bill, or exactly the same bill, last spring, only we found out late in the session that the bill was hijacked, gutted and replaced with what became the revenue enhancement bill that led to $1 billion plus or minus tax increases. And so we were concerned about whether that would happen once again, but she had let us know that with all confidence that wouldn't happen again. But what could possibly go wrong, Chairman Miller? We've never seen things like this happen before.
I was wondering if you could give a brief, maybe a one-sentence definition of a revenue enhancement, just for clarity for the folks that are listening.
I'm probably going to put it out there much more gentler, kinder than you might. But yeah, this is tax. Hang on to your wallet. This is a tax increase. Again, we're not saying that that's what this bill will do, but that's what happened to the same bill last year. They gutted the Emmett Till language, and it became the tax hike of the year bill. So,
of all bills they could have hijacked, that was the one they decided on. It was
right,
sort of
exactly,
odd.
Exactly. What a slam to Emmett Till to go down that he put. So shameful. With that, I don't have anything else, gentlemen. Any closing comments? We go Adam, Miller, Freeze. If there's anything else you guys want to add,
it's going to be a very busy next couple of months. So like, share, follow us on Facebook, go to our Twitter, Instagram, whatever we're on, whatever platforms we're on. We're going to be asking you to fill out witness slips in the coming months and to push back against this radical woke leftist ideology.
Exactly.
What you see here on the whiteboard this morning is why we call this the Bad Idea Factory, because you can't make this stuff up, and the hits just keep on coming.
Right.
Yeah, it's been a long couple days here, and unfortunately we're not done. So hang on, and we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, we've got 4 more days of one more day today, and 5 days today and 4 days next week to get these House bills out, and then it starts all over again when Senate bills start coming back. So we start this process all over again, and then we'll see what will come back on concurrence, and then ultimately in the last 72 hours in May will be speed round as we see how much budget fund we can have. So anyhow, with that, Mr. Director, I think we're going to close out for the day, and we'll talk to you real soon.